Hello everyone, hope you guys are having a good day. It's March 13th, and today I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about today's maybe severe weather outbreak in Texas. Today looks very interesting in the Texas Panhandle, and for a pretty big area of western Texas, and even Oklahoma, so that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. It's going to be our main focus, but we're also going to talk about later this week, or not this week, but next week, because around Wednesday we could have maybe another severe weather event, but this one will be a little bit different than today's. So let's go ahead and get started. So as you guys can see, the SPC does have a moderate risk out for today. You can see that moderate risk is right there. And take a look at the public severe weather outlook, or the PWO, because we can get a zoomed in image of this. And that is where our moderate is, right there, right to the east of Amarillo. And pretty small moderate, but today looks very interesting. We have a large enhanced risk that goes from the Oklahoma Panhandle down into almost Abilene. And our slight risk goes down pretty far in southern Texas. Actually goes down to the Texas-Mexico border. And we can go to today's outlook. You can see that moderate right there. We have a 15 sig for tornadoes. That's very significant. We haven't had one of these in a very long time. We have a 30 sig wind to the east. When our storms are likely to form, it's more of a linear line and pose that damaging wind threat. And then for hail, we have a 30 sig also. Tomorrow we do have a severe weather risk, or kind of right along the Mississippi River, for areas of eastern Arkansas and Memphis, Tennessee, and kind of northwestern Mississippi, that area. And we have a pretty circular marginal surrounding that right there. Now, the next day that looks interesting after tomorrow is likely going to be Wednesday. We can go out to Wednesday. This is Wednesday, March 17th. You have 15% from the SPC for areas of Louisiana. It goes all the way into northwestern Georgia and up into southern Illinois. We have that large 15%. Wednesday looks interesting for a lot of things. It's going to be a different type of... It looks like it's going to be a different type of storm, or like a different type of storm than it is today. We'll talk about what I mean in a second, but so we can see let's start off by looking at simulated reflectivity with the HRRR here. Shows a lot of supercells going off into Texas Panhandle, and then a line going off. So this looks very significant right here. Now let's take some soundings today. Now right now, for forecasting today, for like later today, you would want to use observations, but I'm not going to in the video, because by the time when you guys are watching it, those observations are going to be old. But I am planning on live streaming later, and we will look at a lot of observations during that. So let's take a sounding at 22Z with this. Let's take it with this, right in the inflow of this cell right there. This is just a really good sounding. I mean, it is contaminated though, so let's try and find a better one. Alright, so take one further to the east. Alright, this one's not really contaminated as much. Look, we have a decent amount of cape with this. Just look at that shear, though. Wind's veering with height the whole way. It's just, I mean, there's like not a whole lot going on with the sounding. This Hodo is not perfect, but it's pretty good. And once these move further to the northeast, we can take one, maybe like right here. All right, this one, not that one's not as good. Let's try and you see. We take one right in the inflow. It is contaminated, but look at that Hodo. That Hodo looks really good. And I'll stick one further to the south. This is a pretty good sounding too. We have winds veering of height the whole way up, and no backing at all on the sounding, and pretty thick cape actually. So that's what I like to see. And the Hodo looks pretty good. So yeah, today we do have maybe a chance of some strong and long track tornadoes in Texas. And, I mean, yeah, today just looks really good. So these are some of the best soundings I've gotten in a long time. And even this one, along this line could pose maybe a, kind of a weaker embedded tornado inside of it once it moves further to the east. I mean, the shear can support it. It is a little bit capped. And we still have decent energy. The Hodo, though, is still pretty good. So, yeah, it's looking like we're going to have a significant chance of severe weather probably in this area. this afternoon. Now, let's go ahead and look at Wednesday real quick. And you can see tomorrow we have our surface low right here. Maybe some kind of occluded front. We have our cold front right here. Maybe like a few, maybe a few cold fronts. This is kind of a weird setup. And we have our warm front like spread out like this. So we have our warm sector right here. Southerly winds coming up, bringing moisture from the Gulf. And that's going to be bringing a chance for severe weather to that area, kind of right around the Mississippi River. And then that low moves east. This is Monday. We do still have a little bit of moisture left in this area, actually a lot. And then Tuesday, that low kind of weakens. So we have another one we have another one that kind of enters the U.S. around not the U.S., but enters the central U.S. around Tuesday night. We have it right here. It's actually a pretty strong low, around 994 millibars. That's pretty good for the Texas Panhandle. Cold front like this. Warm front, it's kind of sitting up like this. Maybe it probably goes down like that because of the wedge. Or cold air damming, whichever you want to call it. And then we have southerly winds right here. Have a big, or not big, but we have a lot of moisture in the south. And then Wednesday, this low just gets stronger. It's at around 992 millibars now. And Illinois, we have a very strong cold front coming down like this. Moist air in this area. Our warm front's probably way up here now. So, I mean, this would allow for maybe a chance of severe weather as far north as Illinois, Indiana, and as far east as maybe North Carolina as we get into Thursday also. Because we can see the cold front continues moving east. And then Thursday, maybe a chance across the mid-Atlantic with this. So, yeah, that's Wednesday. We can look at it a little bit more real quick. Let's go to surface-based Cape. So let's see how much energy we have. Because we actually do surprisingly have a lot. Thursday, we have a little bit. We actually have a good amount in the mid-Atlantic. This is surface-based, though, so it can be a little bit off sometimes. I prefer ML, but we don't have that in the GFS and pivotal weather. We can see we have a lot of it, almost 1,000 to 200, or 1,000 to 2,000 for a pretty large area. We can see our low is probably right here, and so we have some energy wrapping around that low, kind of like this. So most energy. This is around This is Wednesday afternoon. We have the most energy in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, and southern Illinois, and that continues moving to the east. And we go into the night, we lose some of that energy, but then we gain more in the mid-Atlantic during the day Thursday, where we could have maybe another severe weather threat. Doesn't look as interesting in the mid-Atlantic for Thursday as it does for Wednesday in the south, and maybe even up until almost like the extreme southern areas of the Midwest. For Wednesday, we could maybe see some severe weather. Thursday doesn't look as interesting, though, but we could see some in the mid-Atlantic. So yeah, that's that now. Let's take a look at the Colorado winter storm. That's going to be bringing a lot of snow. So we can see snow in the Denver area pretty much all weekend, all of today almost, most of Sunday. And even into Monday, we could have some lingering snow showers. So pretty significant event for that area. And let's take a look at snowfall accumulation real quick. You can see the NAM has been trending towards more snow for the Denver area. We now have almost 12 to 15 inches in Denver. And still the pocket with the most heavy snow is southeastern Wyoming. That's where I'm thinking the most snow could be. In southeastern Wyoming, maybe the western Nebraska panhandle. Let's zoom out here because we are going to be looking at maybe some snow further to the east with this once the low tracks further to the east. We can see the NAM and other models have been showing this kind of band of snow along the front here. And we have a little bit of cold air, not a whole lot. In fact, we actually don't really have a perfect setup. We have a high right here, which that's kind of bringing in some warmer air. It's not too far south, though. But then we can see snow for most of Iowa. Maybe some kind of freezing rain mix, and maybe some rain in southern Iowa and western Iowa, potentially, during the day. It's Sunday afternoon. Western Iowa could start as rain, but then it will switch over to snow. Most of Iowa sees maybe some flakes, and then even a little bit of southern and central Wisconsin and southern Minnesota. And northern Illinois could be looking at maybe some ice, a lot of ice actually. So we'll have to see what that does. And then in the northeast, it doesn't really do much. And then we have our next low pressure right here on the panhandle of Oklahoma for Tuesday, which we're not going to look into too much yet. Or yeah, we can look in. Let's see. First off, or the last thing we're going to do is see if that could bring any winter weather to the central and eastern U.S. So when it's crossing the Rockies, you can see it's a weaker low, but we do have a lot of mountain snow. Not really organized. We don't really see extremely organized surface lows in this area of the U.S. though. Then once it gets into the plains, it starts to get organized. Just a lot of rain, maybe some snow showers in the northern side of it. Nothing bad though. I mean, no like winter storm warnings or anything for that area. But then as we get into Wisconsin and stuff, we have a little bit more cold air from this high pressure up here in Canada. And so maybe we could get some snow for areas of northern Illinois, maybe eastern Iowa, maybe southern Wisconsin, and northern Michigan, north and central Michigan especially, and even southern Michigan when this moves out. And then eventually the interior northeast, because we do have the high kind of goes to the southeast and brings a little bit more cold air for the northeast and even maybe another Arctic blast. So with the second low, which is kind of mid to late next week, and it's going to be bringing severe weather Wednesday and Thursday to the south and the mid-Atlantic. It looks like the best area maybe for some snow. It's probably going to be in this area here, including the interior northeast. Now this is going to change because we look at the European. Let's see if the European's different from the GFS with this. So it's just kind of an older run in the European. The 12Z is about to come out there for today. European doesn't have a whole lot of snow. It has some maybe mixed and freezing rain for like the Kansas City area in central Illinois. And then that kind of makes it a little bit into Indiana, Ohio. We do have some colder air over the northeast. So once we get the sun to set, we have a pretty big switch over to snow for areas of northwestern PA and the southern Maine. And then that continues all the way through Friday. So we could be looking at snow maybe for areas of the coastal northeast. So this storm system is a little bit uncertain, especially for the northeast, and pretty much the whole storm system. This next one, mid to late next week, for snow especially, is uncertain. But the severe weather side of it, a little bit less uncertain. I kind of know where we're gonna have severe weather. Now it looks like probably this area has a chance of seeing it. Maybe probably not in the Florida. Like central and southern Florida, but the Florida Panhandle could also see some stuff from this. But that's all about this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be probably live streaming later, most likely. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your Saturday.